Hey, word on the street, nigga, Kris is a suspect.
One of the men who was at the recording studio that night, he left with his group of friends in the red Mitsubishi. Melly and his friends left in the Jeep Compass, but at some point in time, Adrian Davis says that Melly ended up getting into that red Mitsubishi, and he went through his recall and recounting of that entire evening. Then the defense rested. The state did not call any rebuttal witnesses, so there you have it. Before we get to your questions, I want to introduce our great panel we have with us to do that, and it's Law and Crime's Terry Austin. She has been covering the case for us down at the Broward County Courthouse. Brian Buckmeyer is a host and attorney here at Law and Crime, and also Imran Ansari is a host here at Law and Crime and also an attorney. So thanks, guys, for being with us today. Let's start with Terry. Terry, bring us up to speed on what exactly happened in court.
Well, it's interesting, Anjanette. I think everyone was expecting to see Brendan Collins, who was that FBI agent, as a witness because the defense was talking about that most of the week. And instead, we saw, as our viewers just saw, Adrian Davis. He was one of the individuals who was in that red Mitsubishi. He testified that all 8 of them, the 4 in Melly's car and the 4 in the Mitsubishi, were all friends. They all grew up together. They all lived in that house, and they were all collaborating on music at the YNW collaboration. And so there was no motive, essentially, is what the defense was trying to establish there for anyone to have any sort of shooting. We also heard him say that at the time of the drive going from the studio to the house, he basically said the cars pulled over and that Melly got into the red Mitsubishi. So when the shooting occurred, Melly was not in that car. He also established that they all went back to Melly's house. Melly was there. Melly went to his room downstairs. Everyone else went in other places. Then he said they got the phone calls that the shooting had occurred. He said they all cried. He said that Melly was crying as well. So they established that that did happen. One other thing, Anjanette, I'll say that I think Adrian Davis brought out on his direct testimony was when they did that video recording, you may recall, on the day of the shooting, and it is clearly after the shooting. Ultimately, that is what has been established. That was because he had to do the video. He explained that if he didn't do that video, he would not have gotten paid. So he explained why we saw that video shortly after the shooting, where everyone was, walking around, and you saw Melly. He was preparing to do that video. So I think it was a crucial witness for the defense, and I think he came across as credible. And the prosecution did try to say, look, I took statements from you. You didn't say all of these details. You said you weren't sure where Melly went when we went in the house, but they did what they could, I think, on the cross of that witness to establish that his memory wasn't exactly clear. But at the end of the day, this is a live witness. It is not circumstantial. It is direct. It is someone who was there that night, and I think it had a powerful impact on that jury. They were at the edge of their seats listening to this witness.
Yeah, very interesting. It's always nice to hear from a civilian rather than an expert or law enforcement. We heard from so many experts and members of law enforcement in this case. There really weren't many, regular people, what they call lay people. So thank you so much, Terry, for that. Let's get to our questions now. We have a lot of really good ones coming in as usual. So keep them coming on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And we'll get to as many of them as we can over this hour. This first one I'll send over to you, Brian Buckmeyer. AMJ Gaming 101.
So it's looking like Melly might get off with this joint, man. I'm waiting to hear that first day out song, man. I can't even imagine the promo this man finna get for this kind of if he get off with this, man, it's gonna be crazy, man. I'm gonna keep y'all updated with all this, man. That's all, folks.
Bitch, I'm a suspect. Ain't no victims over here. We the suspects to be clear, man. Y'all be